The following announcement has been paid for by the New World Order.
Take 3 Wrestling Podcast. It is Thursday, August the 3rd, 2023. It is the main staples of this show. It is the Fat Siders. It is myself, Fat Hall. No, I'm Fat Nash. That's Fat Hall.
Hey, yo.
I got Bong Rippin' Hogan.
You gotta say my name. You gotta say what my thing says.
SummerSlam.
There you go.
The rated R superstar. It's the SummerSlam.
I swear to God, if they don't get Tony Chimmel back for Edge's last match, I'm a fucking riot.
If you know that it's his final match and it's not the rated R superstar.
Yeah, if Tony Chimmel does not announce Edge to the ring for his final match, I'm a fucking riot. Like
riot. Nothing's worse than a one-man riot.
Oh, just a fucking word.
You're
Yeah,
gonna riot like your name is Ruby?
Exactly.
Destination unknown.
So nobody will care.
Yeah, exactly.
Can I say for the record too? Green hair is okay. Curly hair is okay. Green curly hair is not okay. You're giving me Cesar Romero as the Joker. You got to stop.
Yeah, it's not great.
Like, yeah, only one person on Dynamite is allowed to look like a Batman from the 60s villain, and that's Tony Khan. So, like, Ruby Soho, you got to stop.
Yeah, it's bad. Bad.
All right, so
for the record,
no Ernest.
If Tony Khan were a Batman bad guy, his name would be 8-Ball.
Not wrong.
He ain't lying.
As you can tell, based off of if you're watching this on YouTube, you can see my name is Thank God EJ is gone. Not here. Says he may make an appearance. I also may lose 35 pounds tomorrow. Probably not going to happen.
Yeah. I'll say it's not going to happen.
So,
0.0.
I mean, literally 3 minutes before we hit record, he was still live at the concert. So
down with the sickness was playing.
Yeah, he was down with the sickness.
Yeah, the sickness of fucking listening to Disturbed 20 years after they actually gave a shit. So we got a good one tonight. We'll talk about Summerfest. We'll preview that. Joe's got an interesting one. But let's start here. Obviously, Wrestlers of the Month. It's done and over with. This month was an interesting.
Did you get Joe's list?
I did. I actually roundhouse kicked him.
I say, did you beat it out of him?
I did. You know, hoo ha. Fucking just got it right out of him.
It's different than beating it off of him, but that's a whole different.
I would have let his boyfriend handle that if I needed that to be done.
Sure.
Mikey, I need you to do me a favor. I need you to go ahead and just get this out of Joe one way or another.
You just go, that
thing.
Give Joe a hand. Give Joe a hand.
Yeah, something like that. The Wrestler of the Month goes to the man who main evented every show, including an episode of Collision, Dirty Dom Mysterio. The rest of the top three was Damian Priest and Io Sky as the two Money in the Bank briefcase holders. Big Gunther had a good month. I think he was in the top 5. My question here, and I like to poll the audience here. Could we have any more WWE heavy list from Ernest EJ Christian? I'm going to read off his top 15. And I want you all to tell me how the AEW mark just became the WWE mark in 2.4 seconds. So in order from 1 to 15, Priest, Io, Dom, Liv and Raquel, Chelsea and Sonya, Big Gunther, Jey Uso, LaKnight, Rey Mysterio, Lio Rush, Kota Ibushi, Shayna Baszler, Orange Cassidy, Drew McIntyre, and Trinity.
Ooh,
Guys,
yes.
Kota Ibushi, the week he got nominated was because of a fucking video package. It wasn't even the fact that they won the fucking blood and guts match. It was a video package, and that motherfucker's 11th.
Right. I mean, I had my top three were the same but in different order. I had
Correct. All of ours were, with the exception of Joe. Joe had EO at 4 because he put Jey Uso for pinning Roman Reigns at number 1.
That's fair.
Where he belonged.
Yeah.
So
okay.
so
that's fair.
that's what I'm saying. So all of us had Dominic, Damian, and EO in the top 4. I am the only person that had the Golden Elite in the top 5 for winning blood and guts.
See, here's where I will sort of defend EJ, and I feel dirty saying.
Why? Kick him off the show. I have that power now. Hold on.
Look, even a broken clock is correct twice a day. In the current, and now, okay, you guys know I've been trying to watch AEW. I've made it 4 shows since I've started my little adventure. I watched all of last week's shows, and I watched Dynamite this week. Great episode of Dynamite this week. I'm also watching WWE, obviously. WWE makes its stars feel more important than AEW does. Dominic Mysterio main eventing as many shows as he did. How many matches did he actually win on that whole stretch? Like, he definitely won the North American title. He's definitely won stuff on NXT. I don't know that he's won anything on Raw or SmackDown.
He won the title. He defended against Pete Dunne on SmackDown.
Okay.
I think
he lost the title. Like, he definitely has a loss to Seth in there. But it doesn't matter if he's winning or losing. He still probably would have been a top 5 guy worthy of that spot no matter what, just based on how heavily they're using it.
So on TV in the month of July, he lost to Seth. Judgment Day beat KO, Sammy, and Seth. The Judgment Day, he and Priest lost to KO and Sammy in a tag title match. Then he won the North American title on NXT, defended the North American title Friday night on SmackDown against Butch, defended the North American title
at the American Bash.
On Monday Night Raw against Sami Zayn, defended the North American title on July the 30th on the Great American Bash, and then last Monday on Raw, Sami Zayn and Seth Rollins defeated the Judgment Day.
So he has 2 losses in that run.
Yes, he has two losses in our time frame.
So my concern isn't Dominic Mysterio. But my concern isn't Dominic Mysterio,
because we all had them.
My concern is, and the 2 guys on the top of the screen, if you're watching at home, big supporters of L.A. Knight. Yeah. The number 8 wrestler of the month.
Mean, like, Knight didn't really
Rey Mysterio number 9. What did he do?
Like, he's gotten hot reactions, but like, Knight didn't really do anything in July.
Rey Mysterio at 9. No, I'm good, dog. Drew McIntyre. And here's the thing. You had Drew McIntyre at 15, and I get it. What did Drew do? He came back and challenged Gunther. He didn't wrestle a match yet, has he?
Yeah.
But
it's like he got into the conversation.
But the conversation and I put Billy Gunn because of his potential retirement. Jim had both Subculture and the guys from Impact Wrestling. Nick Wayne making his debut.
Yeah.
I'm just it feels very heavy on I watched WWE this month. I'm gonna just load up the list. That's all I'm saying. I mean, it just
but that's like I don't see a problem with that. Like, if you're basing it on what you watched, you know what I mean? It's one of the reasons why I'm trying to watch more AEW, so that I personally can be more in the conversation about more than just WWE.
But what that tells me is I should never nominate a guy from New Japan Pro Wrestling because they have a 0.0% chance of doing anything because he watches Roman Reigns more.
Well, and yeah, so because like here's the deal. I'll be fully transparent. Like I don't watch a ton of wrestling weekly. Like I don't watch NXT. I don't watch Rampage. I've watched very little Collision. I don't watch New Japan. I don't watch Impact Wrestling. I don't watch Ring of Honor. Most weeks I don't watch SmackDown, with the exception of like Bloodline highlights. But I mean, I also do my own Wrestlers of the Week on 3CT that I will research what happened on Impact, what happened on Ring of Honor, what happened on SmackDown, what happened. Like, so I'm familiarizing myself with what is going on in the world of professional wrestling from Thursday through Wednesday. Like I don't, it's for me. And again, I'm not laying the gauntlet down to anybody else. This is how I do it. If I'm going to make a list of my wrestlers of the week and my wrestlers of the month, like I'm going to look at, okay, who won titles this month? Who defended their titles this month? Not just in WWE, like across the board. Like who had the biggest, like, you know, the old like VH1 show Best Week Ever?
Mhm.
Like when I'm putting my monthly list together, I'm like, who had the best month ever this month? So like, you know, I like just because like LA Knight had a cool promo on like last Friday
on a random episode, like the
again,
beginning of the month.
That's how I put mine together. I'm not necessarily saying one way's right, one way's wrong, but I like,
No, but it's just the way I look at it is if there's going to be someone that's going to vote on the monthly, there's no point in nominating anyone that isn't WWE related to an extent because they're never going to have a fighting chance at gaining the points necessary to stay relevant. I mean, let's look at the top 10 right now of our wrestlers of the month. Number 1 is Sami Zayn, 92 points. Next is Gunther, who jumped up to second. Rhea, Orange Cassidy tied at 70. 67 with Roman Reigns. The Kid Leroy's at 59. Kevin Owens is at 57. Raquel, Liv, and Bianca are all sitting at 50 points. We got one non-WWE guy in the top 10, and it's the guy who's held the Transcontinental title for 7,000 days. All I'm saying is, if just the approach of reading some results and maybe balancing this out isn't a bad thing, because now at this point, wrestlers of the week and wrestlers of the month to me almost feel like it's a segment that we're doing pulling teeth because we've been doing it for the entire time. I don't know. Maybe that's wrong of me to feel that way. Maybe because I'm the one that's sitting here trying to chase people down for lists and wanting to shoot myself in the head. I don't know. That's all I got. Let's move on to the actual reason why we're here. Do some show shit. I don't have topics. It's Joe and Summerfest preview. So, oh, okay.
Well, I'll grab this from Joe because these were kind of a double topic that Joe brought to the table. Is and I mean, because it's all SummerSlam related. You know, we'll preview the 8-match card that is taking place on Saturday. But with an 8-match card, there is certainly going to be omissions. There is one match in particular that has probably gained the most discussion about being an omission, even though it was never officially on the card. But the biggest snubs from the SummerSlam card this year. Joe, I'll let you go first. This is your topic.
Yeah. You know, the funny thing is I feel like there's no shortage of snubs, and it's crazy because there's no match on the SummerSlam card currently, and we'll talk about the card itself later, that I don't think doesn't deserve a spot on SummerSlam. I think maybe the Battle Royal. I'm like that. That to me, I feel like is a little lame. But I'm not a big Battle Royal person, other than the Royal Rumble. But none of the other matches on the SummerSlam card do I feel like should be taken off. However, I feel like there's a lot of people that should be on this card. And I think I'm going to say first and foremost, everyone on the Judgment Day that isn't Finn Balor. How the Judgment Day have been the top heels on Raw for the last about 6 weeks at least, and how they've been part of every major storyline on Raw. Not even just the one storyline, not even just the stuff against Seth. They're also out there fighting Kevin and Sammy. They're also out there with all Rhea's stuff with the women's division and with Raquel and all that. How them being so dominant on Raw equals them being in one match on the SummerSlam card and not some kind of big tag match where they're all involved. One match where only one of them is there. And now, granted, I feel like there's a real chance that in a world where Kevin Owens didn't get injured, we might have seen Damian and Dominic against the tag champs. I don't know for sure that that was going to happen. It feels weird that Sammy and Kevin might have sat out another pay-per-view, but they might have sat out another pay-per-view, even if Kevin wasn't injured. It just feels it feels odd. It feels odd that Rhea's not here defending, and I'm not sure what's going on with that whole thing with Raquel. I think it's been really well built. I don't know if Raquel's actually injured, but if she is, why didn't we have Rhea feud with someone else? There's no shortage of women in this company right now on either brand, honestly. But if you're really worried that there's no one there on Raw, bring someone over from SmackDown. Bring someone up from NXT. Like, there are options. Rhea should be defending the title somewhere on SummerSlam. I think she, especially, if not the Judgment Day as a whole, might be the biggest snub to me.
Yeah, in terms of Judgment Day, yeah, I mean we saw Dom last Sunday, so I think you can get away with him not wrestling. But yeah, I think not having Rhea out there is a choice.
Yeah.
It's certainly a choice. Yeah, I mean when you look over the women's roster, so we know Shayna and Ronda Rousey are doing their match.
Right.
So then like I don't know, like I think part of the problem is like to WWE's actual credit, like they've had other women's storylines. So they've had the Trish Becky thing. They've actually been doing some stuff with the women's tag titles, but like Tegan Knox hasn't been around. I don't know if she's been hurt. Xia Li has been non-existent.
Who?
Exactly. Since she
and I actually like Tegan Knox, but who?
Yeah, but like that's what I'm saying is like when I'm looking over the women's roster, like Maxime Dupree and Valhalla, they've been tied up in the Alpha Academy Viking Raiders deal.
Thank you.
Piper Niven's still hurt. Nikki Cross hasn't been seen forever.
Who?
How many times can Rhea beat up Natalia?
12 more.
By the way, go check out Natalia's Instagram today.
That was a very interesting tan line that she has, by the way.
Yeah,
Is
whatever.
it shaped like a cat?
Indy Hartwell, I think maybe still hurt. Emma is on the Raw roster, I suppose. Candace hurt?
No, I think they're out because of Indy, because of the index stuff.
Okay, so like, there's nobody on the Raw roster that is really like a viable candidate at this point.
Well, but they're not doing the Trish Becky match at SummerSlam, which is kind of crazy. You could have had a 3-way for the title.
I don't think it's all that crazy that they're not having that match. I mean, I think Becky and Trish both deserve to be on it. But the reality of the situation is you're a 2 women match company. Your second biggest women match is probably the final match of Ronda Rousey's career.
Yeah, like that.
Not to
that
take away,
was-
not to take away from Rhea Ripley, not to take away from Trish and Becky, but speaking as someone who despises Ronda Rousey, hello, it's me you're looking for. That match is probably the second biggest women's match that you could have on that show.
Yeah, I'll
Sure.
say this. When they were doing the promos on Raw this past week for that match, I thought to myself, damn, if they had given this 6 months of build, 8 months of build, we'd be talking about this like it's the best storyline in women's wrestling of all time.
Doubtful because it has Ronda Rousey in it, but I get what you're saying.
Well, but like the passion that they were building and like the history and everything, it was giving me Bloodline if you gave it time to build, as opposed to we've done this in the last month because Ronda's ready to go.
If they started building this the night after WrestleMania, going into this match would be, I think, on a bigger scale.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Like if you would have given it a proper 4 or 5 month build leading into Summerfest, even I would have probably thrown my hands up and been like, I don't think the match is going to be great, but I'm into it.
Yeah,
I'm interested to see what happens.
They go out there. If that match is longer than 10 minutes, something has gone horribly wrong.
It will be because it's MMA rules. More on that later.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I mean, I think WWE's done a really good job with the video packages leading up for this Ronda Shayna match, as WWE does with every video package they ever do, because their video team is spectacular. Yeah, and you were always going to get that match on here. And that's the thing, because like I've seen a lot of people like big mad this week about the Becky Trish match not being on SummerSlam, because they're like, it was written off the show. I'm like, first off, let's address facts here. It was never on the card. Okay, there was never an official WWE card. Now again, I understand, people with the pencils and things change, blah blah blah, plans change,
Meltzer.
but like there was never an announcement from any WWE website, social media, nothing that said Becky versus Trish at SummerSlam. We were all assuming we were going to get it.
Mm-hmm.
And when it's not happening, then WWE gets accused of lying to us, which never happened. I'm not saying it shouldn't be on there, but I put this tweet out earlier today, and because these are things that WWE gets regularly criticized for. Pay-per-views are too long. If a match gets thrown on a premium live event and isn't given quote unquote enough time, a match gets pulled like this one from a show when it was never announced, so it was pulled from the show, or that a premium live event match, quality match, is given away for free on TV. Because here's the thing, okay, so there's 8 matches, 7 actual matches, 1 battle royal. Could the WWE have put a 9th match on this card and have Becky and Trish on there? They could have. Now, let's be honest. Outside of WrestleMania, though, if you look at most months' premium live events, they are 7 or 8 matches.
I think they've been 6, some of them.
Yeah. So, WWE, pretty much since the start of the pandemic, has not done super long form pay-per-views. They don't. So I'm not surprised that we're only getting 8 matches on this show. I'm really not.
We voted down. Disconnect them. We voted down. Thank you.
So here's the thing I'll say. If we want to put if you want to put Becky and Trish on here, is there a match on this card that you're going to take off?
What
battle royal?
I haven't actually seen the card. I was going to try to do this just off of feeling whenever we get there. What is the battle royal? What is it
It's a battle
It's
royal.
for? What?
Battle Royal.
They haven't said a reason. I think it's kind
For
of like
Battle
the
Royal
Andre.
purposes.
Honestly, I think it's a way to get LA Knight
A
on the
win.
card.
It's
Uh,
look, something was meant to be on this card. Probably a tag title match.
I have a feeling it's something
And-
else, but I'll digress.
I genuinely don't know, but something clearly, because there's no way that there's Tony Khan is not in this creative room. There's no way that Battle Royal was the original plan.
No. This was
Royal was definitely a pull it out of your ass option C. Someone was watching that page last week and was like, "Huh, a Battle Royal."
I
Or
believe the
maybe
battle
they were
royal
watching
got
Dynamite
added
the week before.
on Monday this week. I truly believe they got to Raw this week, and whatever they had planned, match wise, wasn't going to pan out. Here's the thing. I don't know that I 100% truly believe that Trish and Becky was ever planned to be on SummerSlam,
Yeah,
or at least within the last couple of weeks.
I don't think it was. I think that was always going to be on a Canada episode of Raw because it was coming right around the corner. What I will say is the match I think inevitably end up getting cut was the U.S. title match because I don't think the Kid Leroy is healthy. I know they said that he's supposed to fight Santos Escobar eventually. Nobody knows when the fuck eventually is.
Oh, they're not fighting on SmackDown?
I haven't seen where it was said that Escobar is fighting for the title on Friday night.
I know I can 100% be wrong. I didn't see it anywhere either. I was just making an assumption because Austin Theory's kind of become the king of defend my title the night before pay-per-view.
I mean, I'm going to look real quick I'm going to go to the X, as they call it.
Whether he's injured or not, that match was never going to be on the SummerSlam card.
No, but Austin Theory defending the U.S. title against somebody else could have been on the show. Maybe an LA Knight. But you know that he's hurt. You know that you're not going to use him right away. You know that you're also not going to do things that you probably should. So maybe you go that route. Maybe you just save the LA Knight title win for a bigger stage where the explosion is big. Santos Escobar really doesn't need the United States title. He's a guy who you probably trust in ring. You know, he's a guy that you're not going to think's going to go out there and, you know, inevitably get somebody hurt. So, you know, I don't know. I don't necessarily knew that they actually announced that match. I guess that's what confused me. And that's why I thought, okay, you had, you know, the Kid Leroy defend the title on WrestleMania.
Like looking at this card, I still think there's an injury there because dude has not. I mean, I know he's been wrestling some, but I don't think he's 100% healthy because like that title was on a heater. I also think somewhere on this card we're getting a Grayson Waller effect.
According to WWE.com, the real Chief Jey Uso stands up on SmackDown. Sheamus takes on LA Knight for SummerSlam Battle Royal momentum. And the three ladies will have their final stare down before fighting for the titles.
I had heard a rumor that initial earlier plans before the Kevin Owens injury that was that the tag title match was going to be on SmackDown. You can take that or leave it.
Who were they going to defend the titles against anyways?
I don't. The Viking Raider. I don't know.
On SmackDown, I have no clue. If it had been
Pretty
on
Deadly?
SummerSlam, like maybe Judgment Day, but yeah, no, you know my feeling on Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn and the way they've been booked.
Unless they open challenge and somebody from NXT comes up.
Maybe you have the Street Profits and Bobby Lashley in their corner and start to establish.
That's true. Yeah, that's true. You could possibly have that thing and get gold into that new faction right away.
Yeah.
But like honestly, like in terms of snubs, like just a couple names, like looking over the roster that like it feels a little strange at this point in their career that they're not on the second biggest show of the year, like AJ Styles, Edge.
Is he in again?
I don't. He's wrestled, but I don't know that he's 100. He may not be 100% either because
Yeah.
he wrestled in the world title tournament, and I think that's about it since he's been back from injury. Like I'm surprised Edge isn't on there, being this close to Canada. Like
To me, it's a huge one. There was one point when we all thought that Edge's retirement match was going to be on this show, and now the man's not
I'm
even
sorry.
on this show.
Maybe that's what we were supposed to get. Maybe Austin Theory was supposed to beat John Cena at WrestleMania and then beat Edge at SummerSlam, and now you're like, well, he ain't going to be cleared for SummerSlam, so why are we going to have him beat Edge on a random episode of SmackDown in a week and a half? So at this point, does it make sense to just scrap it all together, go to Santos Escobar, go to somebody else, and go that route? I think that almost makes more sense. I actually truly think Edge was supposed to be the guy. And when they found out that Theory probably wasn't going to be able to be cleared, they said, you know what, let's just scrap this whole thing altogether and let's just move on from it. You know, Grayson Waller effect with an Edge appearance where maybe Grayson Waller is the guy who's going to get the rub from Edge in Canada kind of thing. Maybe that's a route that we go to now. Because like Jim said.
Like even looking down the Raw roster, like I can't necessarily, with the exception of Rhea Ripley, I can't necessarily find any huge snubs from the Raw roster. Like when you're talking about a company that has been doing, 7 to 8 match cards.
I will say, and it's just because of what the main event is, biggest snub not on the show is Jim Uso.
I think Jim Uso will be at this show.
I think he'll be at the show, but the fact that he's not in a match on the show, even if it was him and Solo earlier in the night.
There's plenty of time for that stuff still.
I'm just...
Can I be honest?
Make it a triple threat match for the Intercontinental title.
Can I be honest? And this is based on totally absolutely nothing. So like most wrestling reports, just from watching everything, part of me wonders if Jimmy isn't the Owen Hart of the family. And I mean that in the sense of Jimmy might be cool being like, I'm gonna do this for another year and then I'm gonna go retire and do my own thing. I'm going to go stay at home with my wife, have a couple of Coronas. Maybe my friends will come. We'll race cars. Maybe we'll get recruited out into CIA, have to go save the world. Maybe The Rock will come after us. Like, family. Like, I think that's Jimmy Uso. I think Jimmy Uso is that guy. And I think that Jey Uso is the one that's got the potential to be the single star. So in a way, I think Jimmy might be okay with being like, yo, I'm good. You go out there, you get it, By the way, kick him out. Kick him out. We don't want him.
I just had to mute him because there was the echo.
No, he can't sit with us.
I've already booted him once. Somebody else can do it this time.
Boot him again. I don't know how to.
Yeah,
you don't have the power.
Yeah, I think Rhea's the biggest piece missing from this card. Because here's the thing, if you get Rhea on the card, you get Dom out there.
I think all three of them are going to be out there.
Oh, I think they will be too. I think they will be too, but and again, I don't know who the challenge.
I think there's a real reason why Damian Priest and Dominic Mysterio are not on the show. More on that later.
Potentially, and I know where you're going with that, but potentially.
More on that later.
Yeah. I have my thoughts on that situation that we'll talk about in a little bit as well.
Yes.
With the biggest, I'm gonna throw one more out there. Biggest snub. Bad Bunny. Like, I mean, if we're having a Logan Paul match, give me another fucking Bad Bunny match. I'd rather.
No, give me Bad Bunny, either Logan Paul or Bad Bunny eliminating the other one at Royal Rumble, and give me Bad Bunny versus Logan Paul at WrestleMania.
Oh my God, do the first ever celebrity versus celebrity match where it's actually going to be a good fucking match.
It'll be fucking fantastic.
You know what? I think I
I'm
should save that.
so you just broke my mind. I mean, like the weed helped, but you just
Yeah.
broke my mind.
I feel like at this point, I could give less than one fuck about that Logan Paul match.
That's
Wow.
because you hate Ricochet.
No, it isn't even that at this point. It's cool guy that does flippy shit against cool guy who does flippy shit. Like,
I mean, but
Okay,
that's AEW in a
Cornette.
nutshell.
Okay,
no,
Jim Cornette.
no, but at the end of the day, when we're talking about snubs, a Logan Paul match versus getting Jimmy Uso on the show or getting Rhea Ripley on the show or the Becky versus Trish match. Like, if you're telling me Austin Theory and Edge and Becky and Becky and Trish got scrapped, like, I'm okay with Logan Paul and Ricochet not happening on fucking Summerfest and moving that to Survivor Series. Like,
But
like
see,
it doesn't
here's
move
the
the
thing,
needle enough.
and I don't
to me.
know what Survivor Series is going to look like this year, but especially the way that they're building NXT, it feels like we're doing the brand supremacy deal at Survivor Series like it's been. So I don't think Logan Paul and Ricochet fits onto there.
And at the day too, Logan Paul, it's a stunt. Logan Paul being there is always just let's get attention that we wouldn't get otherwise.
Right.
Let's go viral. Let's get on ESPN.
If you have him
Logan
under
Paul
contract,
gets
I mean,
covered.
We got on
Like,
ESPN with the Tribal Chief too. So I mean,
But I'm just
not
saying
that
though,
they
like
can't get
Logan Paul gets attention that you're not going to get from a Rhea Ripley match, unfortunately. So, as a business decision, I understand it.
and I'll say this: the people that are tuning in to watch Logan Paul are not watching ESPN.
no chance. Drawing dead.
So like the Roman Reigns going on ESPN is to get people, 40-year-old white dudes that are watching First Take or whatever, and they're like, oh, this dude's related to The Rock. Wait, SummerSlam's this weekend? Cool. I'm going to tune into SummerSlam to watch this guy because I used to like The Rock back in the day, and I haven't watched wrestling in 10 years. Like Logan Paul being on the card is to get a different demographic.
Yeah, it ain't the ESPN graphic.
Yeah. So
Fair
like
enough.
again, there's a reason that Logan Paul wasn't on SportsCenter and Roman Reigns, you know what I mean?
The ex football player Roman Reigns is on there to talk about football.
WWE is very intentional with how and where they put things, and that, I mean, right, wrong, or indifferent, you're not wrong in what you're saying, Mike. But Logan Paul was always going to be on SummerSlam.
Oh, that I'm not disagreeing with.
Yeah.
The conversation was snubs. I would rather have a Jimmy Uso versus somebody match and Trish versus Becky than watching two guys that the one interaction they had leading up to this match was them doing dueling fucking phenomenal forearms in the middle of the fucking Royal Rumble. Because
they're supposed to have that spot in Money in the Bank that got botched. That was supposed to be the next viral.
That's true, yeah.
All I'm getting at is there are people that are not on this show that if the Battle Royal didn't exist, say the Battle Royal doesn't exist and you have Rhea Ripley defending the title against something, and you're telling me, gun to my head, it's Austin Theory defending the United States title against Edge, or it's Ricochet versus Logan Paul. Unless you're making that a fatal four-way for the U.S. title, I would rather have the Kid Leroy and Edge.
That's fair.
That's all I'm saying. And the thing is, I think that the two of them are going to have a fantastic match. I think it's going to have those moments that are going to be TikTok and viral moments and things like that. And that's coming from a guy who despises Ricochet. But it has nothing to do with my desire for him to crash and burn. It's just literally from a personal preference. I think I'd rather have the guy, the feud and the build and the U.S. title match on there, especially if that's Edge's potential swan song.
Right. Yeah.
What was the other part of this?
It was the
The second question is do you think we've reached a point where SummerSlam should be, or could be, maybe one day would be, a 2-night event like WrestleMania has become? And I say that because, like I said earlier from the start, I do think that there's a valid case for every match that's on the card currently to be on the card. I also think there's a valid case for about another 4 or 5 other matches deserving spots on the card. That sounds to me like you can easily pull together 12 matches and have 2 nights of 6 matches, just like WrestleMania, and have a pretty good another 2-night event, you know? Like, think about it. You do 2 nights this year at SummerSlam, you've got Becky and Trish on that card. You've got Rhea defending the title against somebody on that card. You've got Sammy, and I guess if Kevin's injured, maybe you have Sammy. But you've got something
You
involved.
unmuted you. Hold on. You unmuted yourself to cough.
Sorry.
I'm glad you said
What the
that. I was
hell's
just going
wrong
to straight
with
up
you?
remove him.
Said he wasn't going to be on this week. Just don't let him in.
You,
I
like
just muted
unmuted
Boot him.
yourself to cough.
I muted him again.
Jesus.
Boot him.
You sound good. You sound good. Go, keep going.
Boot him.
Fucking hell.
Hi, Joe.
Nobody wants you here.
Go
How
fuck
is the
yourself.
Battle
It's
Royal-
okay.
How is the Battle Royal presented by Slim Jim? We got them back as a sponsor.
Yeah, that was announced.
Have they had-
today. That was announced.
Have they had anyone named since Monday?
We'll get there, buddy. We're not on the preview yet. Maybe
Oh,
you should
right,
actually
right.
show up on time.
Yeah, the Slim Jim partnership was just announced today.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, I saw that.
I'm all
Step
on
into
board
it.
with that. For me, I don't even like their WrestleManias. I still don't like their WrestleManias 2 nights.
Why?
Because it doesn't need to be.
Yeah.
It doesn't need to be. Like, instead of giving me
I'm going to respectfully disagree, good sir. And I say that as someone who has sat through and survived 10-hour-long WrestleManias. I know I
Hold on.
napped. I know
Mike,
I
I
napped.
was gonna say, I've survived 10-hour WrestleMania.
Yeah,
I understand that.
fairly-
Yes.
Well, Joe fell asleep, right?
I'm fairly
I
certain I've seen pictures of Joe
Nap somewhere
sleeping.
between like a fucking Snooki and Cody Rhodes. I get it.
Yeah, so you
My
haven't
point,
survived.
though,
Thank you
as
for proving my
someone-
point. No, thank you
No.
for proving my point that WrestleMania does not need to be 2 nights. Because if you can't stay awake through both nights, you've proved my point, sir. Thank you.
No. The opposite thing I'm saying is that when it's been the long one night, like 7-hour affair, I have a struggling time getting through that. Giving me these 2 nights where it's like 3 hours each night, I love that. Honestly,
You building for 3 hours. This is Joe watching on TV. You talking about?
Joe does fall asleep watching.
Yeah. I'm predicting on Saturday when you come over the house, you're gonna fall asleep in the middle of the show. Guarantee it.
So
Hey, my couch is cozy as fuck, for the record.
You sound like
So-
you're under arrest.
yeah, once
Because I am.
I'll say like
It's
there's
covered.
flashing lights and you're screaming. So
It's cut right there. It's cut right there. Cut right there.
Is that why you called into the show? You just wanted video footage?
oh, Jesus Christ.
No. We're still in the parking lot, though. Go ahead.
So like
Just
this year
Ernest, if a cop starts to approach your car, just start screaming Rodney King.
oh my god, damn it.
Damn right.
Fucking nope.
Fucking
Nope.
asshole. But yes, you're right. Goodbye. Hey, Mike, nice advertisement.
Wrong.
Good goddamn.
Joe, never change, okay? Please, never change.
Jesus
How is it? How is it that this moron shows up and the whole show goes fucking off the rails? How is this possible? How?
It's possible.
But like looking at this year's WrestleMania card, like there was a total of 15 matches. Now, one of those matches was Pat McAfee versus The Miz. One of those was Snoop Dogg beating The Miz. So you take those 2 away, there's 13 matches. Like you can do a 13 match card in one night. Like started an hour earlier. I don't give a shit.
Of course
Like,
you don't.
I don't need 2 hours of or 2 nights of WrestleMania.
So
I know we're.
question.
I know that. No, hold on. I know that we're never going back to where it's one
Correct.
night anymore.
Yeah.
Like,
Jim, they used to do 10 plus matches years ago in under 3 hours.
yeah, I know, Grandpa. It's because they used to have like 36-second matches between like the Killer Bees and the Heart Foundation. Like, we're also not going to get those again. But
That's
like,
Yeah, exactly.
but like, I know we're never going back to a one night WrestleMania because the WWE is never going to turn down that much money. But like that should stand on its own for me. Like, WrestleMania
agree.
should be the exception to the rule.
Totally agree with you.
Now for shows like SummerSlam, if you want to break your like 8-match rule and make it 10 matches, start an hour earlier and run up to the, you know, start at 7 instead of 8 and run till 11:30, that's fine.
Yeah.
Make it a longer show, make it feel bigger than
Yeah.
a regular premium live event. Like, but I definitely don't need 2 nights of SummerSlam. I definitely
Yeah,
do.
sometimes the only pay-per-view I would actually be okay with, like having a 5 hours one night thing, I'd be okay with it. But WrestleMania is really special, and 2 nights is. I'd rather have 2 nights of 3-hour shows or 4-hour shows than having one night of like 5-6 hour show.
You're
Mike?
both psychopaths. You're both psychopaths. I've sat
Why?
through 2 nights. I've sat through one fucking marathon night. I've even sat through a fucking Ryback match, and I did it and didn't fall asleep. So I mean, at the end of the fucking
Well, because
day,
you're a fucking robot. That's why.
no. The thing is
Let me through, asshole. Thank you. God
EJ,
damn it.
shut up.
Sorry.
EJ, stop. If you're gonna yell at traffic, mute yourself, dickhead.
I just mean it.
Question.
I love this power.
Question, real fast. Question. If you're Fat Hall and you're Fat Nash, does that make EJ Big Papa Plum?
Diabetic Virgil.
Correct.
Heard.
Soul Train diabetes. Soul Train type 2.
So here's the thing: we've gone from doing these PLEs, these big events on Sundays, and trying to do them on Saturdays so you can get more of the crowd because kids have to go to school on Mondays.
Correct.
Why not just do a long WrestleMania on a Saturday afternoon? What are you going against? Opening day of baseball? Don't worry, there's 160 more games. The national semifinals of college basketball? Who gives a shit? You're not going up
Thanks,
against anything. If you want to do a marathon show on a Saturday day and make that WrestleMania, go for it. You can do it on one night. Don't do it on Sunday because kids got to go to school the next day. We got to get those pre-LE fucking views on the Peacock through the roof. How do you do it? You make it on Saturday. Now, question pertaining to SummerFest. No, it does not need to be 2 nights because here's the problem that I have with, especially this one being 2 nights. We scraped together 3 more matches. There isn't anything that we're like, damn it, this thing has to be on the show. Logan Paul and Ricochet will be a 10-minute car crash. Every other match, probably going to get 12 plus minutes. Gunther versus Drew could be a 10-minute match. The Battle Royal is going to get what? 7 minutes?
Probably.
The match that's going to get the time is the match that should get the time. It's Roman and it's Jay. That one might go 30. That one might go 45.
Cody and Brock go 15 to 18, I bet.
But that's what I'm saying. You don't need a second night. If you wanted to get Rhea Ripley on the show, you wanted to get Sami Zayn on this show in some way, shape, or form. Hell, let's do something even crazier. Hey, Kevin's out indefinitely. You got to find a tag partner. Sami Zayn and Jimmy Uso defending the tag titles against the Judgment Day. You find a way to get Jim on the show. You tie back the bloodline. That would have been a fun. That'd have been fun.
The thing is, I actually wouldn't hate that because, like, there's a part of me that thinks there's a part of me that thinks that there's a world where Damian Priest could totally cash in on Roman.
On Roman?
And lose?
No.
Yes. Now, unless he's
Been real, guys.
Unless he's cashing in and pinning Jay.
I was figuring it more to be the kind of thing where Roman barely survived that match. Like barely survived it. And then you have Damian come out and do that. I would not be against the idea of the Judgment Day ending SummerSlam with 4 belts.
Now, if this were a normal Roman Reigns reign,
Yeah,
I'm 100% on board.
if this was last year, even, I feel like I could be on board with that. This is just one where if he escapes, I don't think Priest gets to the ring.
No.
Between Solo
spikes him.
I mean, even Jimmy and Jay, it's one of those where we have our inter-squalm, but like he's still family.
Well,
Like,
that's
you're not
what
going
I'm
to
thinking.
the bones of a family fight.
I could see this being the thing that brings the bloodline back together and then also gets us to War Games in November, Bloodline versus Judgment Day, with the bloodline as the faces.
Oof. That's
So he somehow gets the
room.
Usos. So he somehow gets the Usos to fall in line.
It's not even a fall in line thing. It's a turning Roman humble. It's that him realizing that without his family, he has nothing.
Is the match this year at SummerSlam for the title?
What, the
Or is
Roman
it-
J match?
Yes.
Yeah.
Is it for the?
Yeah.
Okay. I was gonna say, because the way that they're doing it is whole like this family combat thing or whatever the fuck they're working.
Tribal combat. It is for the title. It is for the being recognized as the tribal chief.
See, because what I was saying was if it wasn't for the title, I could see Jay beating him again.
Can we mute him while he's getting head from a
Yeah,
fucking
man,
truck?
you got to mute yourself when you're not talking because we can hear the sounds of the road.
I'm saying that Jay,
Sorry.
if it wasn't for the title, Jay wins, becomes the tribal chief, saves Roman from the cash in of Damian Priest, and that could lead to it. But with it being for the title, I don't see how Roman doesn't walk out with the belt.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm like, them going face, like, is this more like okay, the match is a back and forth, he escapes. He doesn't really win, he escapes. Priest runs out, Dom and Finn take out Solo. Rhea takes out Heyman. So what are your choices? Jimmy and Jay. They slide in, double super kick Priest. But then you have to get from post SummerSlam to wherever the next step is for Roman to be humble. Because coming off the win, he ain't going to be humble. He's going to beat the guy who says that he's better than him in the family. There's no reason to be humble at that point.
Right.
That's where I would be concerned about what the next step is for them to be faces. That's all. I think on paper, I think it's fantastic. I think it's a great fucking idea. Judgment Day v.
Them being who, Mike?
The Bloodline. The comment Joe made was face Bloodline versus the Judgment Day in War Games.
In War Games.
Problem is, who's the fourth member of Judgment Day? I know who I would put there.
JD.
JG Wentworth. JG Wentworth. That's exactly who it would be.
Fucking mini Finn Balor.
I mean, that's who it should be because
little Papa Pump.
All right, Petey Williams, chill the fuck out. But I don't think that this card needs to be 2 nights. I don't think SummerSlam itself needs to be 2 nights. I think if you make it a 4-hour show, 4.5-hour show, 5-hour show, gets the job done. I think this show would have actually have been longer had Kevin Owens not been hurt. I think the show would have been longer if Austin Theory wasn't hurt. Because I think we were still going to get that battle royal. I still think we were going to get, the matches that are there, plus a couple matches. I think WWE's sitting there now going, cool, now we can give these matches like Gunther and Drew more than 7 minutes. Now that match can go out there and be a 14 or 15-minute match. I can give time to the women's triple threat match. I can give time to an MMA rules match between Shayna Baszler and Ronda Rousey. I've now lengthened the ability to have 12 to 17-minute matches, with that match culminating in a probably 30 to 35-minute masterpiece, rather than having to go 7 minutes, 7 minutes, 14 minutes, 7 minutes, 10 minutes. Oh, that match went long. Now your match is now 4 minutes. Go.
Yeah.
I personally don't think that this show is over before 11:30 anyways.
Well, no, because like I said,
Any
you're
chance to get a 9th match tonight?
what?
Any chance to get a 9th, 10th match on Saturday?
Probably not.
No, I think you're gonna get a Grayson Waller effect though.
That's what I'm saying.
You're getting a Kid Rock
Oh,
performance.
definitely that. Yes. You.
Yeah, they've already announced it. It's like
I hope he performs America the Beautiful before the
I expect Jim to go nuts when he gets on TV. I know that for a fact.
well, I mean, I'm gonna point out that he's a piece of shit, and I'm gonna ignore it because, like, I knew, like, when they announced it that they were in Detroit, I knew he was going to be there. He's in the Hall of Fame. Like it's not surprising that he's going to be there. I also hope because Bud Light is a sponsor of the WWE that I hope they air a Bud Light commercial right after it.
Oh fuck yeah! Yes, let's go! Hell yeah!
Like so that'll just make my night better. But yeah, so like yeah, I mean it starts at 8. We're definitely pushing midnight till this thing's over.
Easily. Can I ask something? And then we can move on to the preview if you want. If it were a 2-night event this year, what main events, whichever night, isn't being main evented by Roman and Jay?
Triple threat match for the women's title.
Yeah.
Not Cody and Brock.
Or maybe Seth. Well, yeah. Or maybe Seth and Finn.
I think for me it's Seth and Finn.
See, I would go Cody and Brock.
Nah.
Cody's had his main event this year.
You could do a co-headline thing if you wanted to.
Honestly, I
think Cody and Brock might open the show.
I do too.
Ooh, yeah, I can see that.
I personally think that you close with the women's match. They didn't get the main event at Mania this year. I think they would have been a perfect match to main event because you're going to get a great match out of the three of them.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's been really well built.
So, I mean, I feel like they would have been the night one logical. It would have been one of those where you start night one with Cody versus Brock, you end it with the women's match. You start night two with Finn versus, or you put Finn and Seth to start night one, and then you open night two with Cody and Brock. I feel like the women, it would have been one of those with the way that match has been built. There'd be so many people that are like, how are they not main eventing with a women's match at some point this year?
Yeah, and I'm certainly not saying that they don't deserve to main event.
No, of course not.
But yeah, I think for the first, if you would have done a 2-night thing, this is your first opportunity to establish the World Heavyweight Championship on that level. So it main events night 1, Tribal Chief main events night 2. Where the women fit in, that's a harder call because you're not going to make people happy either way. If they open the show, they're not happy. If they're, third to last, they're not happy. If you're in the bathroom break spot, they're not happy. So,
also factual.
Did you just say women can't please them?
No, I said people wouldn't be happy.
Oh. I thought you meant
trying
the
to
women.
get us canceled again.
I'm like, wait, is Big Jim a misogynist?
No.
Why do you hate women?
If you set Roman and Jay as the night 2 main event and Seth and Finn as the night 1 main event, no matter where the women's triple threat falls on either of the nights, the fans are not going to be happy about it. Fans aren't going to be pleased with it because they would. I think the fans, for all the reasons Mike gave, fans would want the women's match to main event. And if you don't, people are going to be mad no matter where you put that match.
You know what would actually probably be a fun night one main event now the more and more I think about it? Ronda Rousey versus Shayna Baszler.
I honestly
stop. Really?
Why not?
Shut up, asshat.
It's Ronda's last match.
That's why.
Is this one Ronda's last match?
Very likely.
It's her last match for the foreseeable future.
That's the prevailing belief. Yeah.
Is it, or is this like match 1 of 2, and maybe her last match is at like Payback or Survivor Series or some shit?
I think if you're doing the MMA rules stipulation, I think she gave them a hard exit of August the 5th.
I think this is. You guys think she's done for good?
If she comes back and wrestles one more time at a WrestleMania or something, I can't rule that out. But I think this is her. I'm going away for a long time.
This is the I'm not going to be an everyday member of this roster moving forward.
And here's the deal: you're an MMA rules match. Shayna Baszler, spoiler alert to my prediction, is 100% submitting Ronda Rousey.
I think she just chokes her out. I don't even think Ronda taps.
Well, but that still goes down as a submission.
Or will it go as a ref stoppage? Because it's an MMA rules match.
Well, that's fair. But regardless, you know what I mean? It's not a like pin situation. It's 100% a. But I honestly though, because Shayna is the face in this, a ref stoppage / like Ronda passes out, that actually puts like baby face sympathy on Ronda. I think
true.
I think this Ronda full on taps out, and that puts Shayna over even more.
I hope she just knocks her out. Just real life.
So wait, do you guys want to get into the preview now? Because it sounds like we're starting to talk about the matches anyway.
Kind of going there right now anyway.
Hey, if you want to rush through this show anymore, just tell us you want to rush through the show. What? Okay, Jim, go ahead.
No.
I'm being a smart ass.
I feel like we've exhausted the topic and we're talking about the matches now. Because like I have something to say about the Ronda and Shayna match, but I'm not going to say it now if we're going to talk about the match.
Start there.
Yeah, we'll start with that one.
Make it easy.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. So here's my only thing with this match. So I think it's been well built. I wish it had more time to be built, but I think that like they've done a lot with the time that they have. I think that I'm excited for it. I think that Shayna's going to win. I think you guys are right about all that. What then? What does it matter after this? What is this going to amount to for Shayna? Because realistically, I don't know what you do with her after this. I don't see her going after Rhea. I don't see that being a match that you can really build to be that exciting because Shayna is not a face. I don't think she's a face. So I don't know how that work. What?
She's 100% a face right now. You 100% go to. Did you not watch the video package on Monday?
I don't know that I got face out of that from her.
I legitimately sat there and worked my ass off in an unpaid camp to get this person better, but they were never there for me. Tell me that ain't woe is me, I'm a face. That's 100% a face. That's 100% a face.
Dude, she's a face.
We literally looked at the Raw roster.
Set her up to fight Rhea.
I mean, you got to get somewhere. If Survivor Series is really going to be brand supremacy, you don't really need a title contender that makes more sense than Raquel Rodriguez after Survivor Series. So why not? Why not have Shayna Baszler fight for the title in December or at Royal Rumble in January? You gotta get somebody to that point. she'd be coming off the biggest win of her career. You have her go through the rest of the Mod Podge that is the Raw women's roster, and you put her into a spot where she fights Rhea Ripley, whether it's Survivor Series and the only brand supremacy match is going to end up being War Games, or you put a Rhea Ripley team versus a Shayna Baszler team in War Games. You do something different, or Shayna Baszler wins her way onto Team Ripley, who is the captain of the women's War Games match for Team Raw, and she does the exact same thing that some bastard named Pac did and walks out. Says, okay, you don't need me, I'm out. And that leads to them feuding. I think there's multiple ways to get there, but in a division that it's kind of putrid when it comes to challengers for the Raw women's title, why not strike while the iron's hot? She's going to come off the biggest win of her career. Definitely bigger than that fucking Elimination Chamber that we matched that started the pandemic. Yes, I blame that singular match on the reason why fucking the coronavirus exists, because we were there that night and it was god awful. Fuck that match. That match was terrible, Jim.
I'm not denying that. I just think that the virus was already happening, but neither here nor there.
Fuck that match. Yeah, Shayna Baszler wins, and I would put her right into a title picture with Rhea Ripley. That's me.
Interesting. Okay.
Smokey and the Bandit, what do you got? Unmute yourself for 30 seconds.
I am immune.
No, I got Shayna too, though, but it does feel a little too obvious, though. I will say something's going to happen here bigger than you realize. I'm not sure wins or not, but I'm going to go Shayna anyway.
Shayna wins via knockout.
I feel like
Rash
Ernest should have
Rousey.
to over at the end of everything he says.
I agree.
Over.
I agree.
Over.
Yeah, I mean,
Over.
I think I don't care how quote unquote obvious it seems. Like, first off, like in this last year, like I don't know that there's been a ton like Vince McMahon, I felt like was like the king of the, hey, you think you have this figured out, I'm smarter than you booking. I don't think we really see that as much now. And like, predictable or not, it's Shayna Baszler. Like there's I don't think there's any, any mystery lurking around the corner on this one. It's Shayna Baszler.
Here's my question to you guys, though. Do you feel like she's ready for the next step?
I don't know.
I don't know either. But
Yes.
But you gotta try it, right? You gotta try somebody, like Mike said.
Yes.
here's the thing: if not now, when?
Yes.
And
Right. To your point, this feels like this is the last chance. I think feel like right here.
I don't think it's the last chance. I think this is the start of the rocket ship. She was great in NXT. She's good in ring. Her promos are just getting better. And now you're going to give her a face run.
Correct.
You're going to put her up against the biggest heel in the company right now. Yes, 1,000% yes.
And she's in the right hands this time with Hunter doing it. So yeah.
okay.
Jim, do you have the card, or do I need to?
Oh no, I have the card. I thought that you were doing it. Okay. All right, let's do the SummerSlam Battle Royal.
My bad. That's on me.
Sponsored by Slim Jim. I don't know what it's for besides let's get some people on the card. Confirmed participants as of today, LA Knight.
Yeah.
Thank you. Sheamus, Shinsuke Nakamura, our old pal.
Tomato chip.
Thank you. Otis and Chad Gable.
Thank you.
Those are your announced competitors as of right now. Joe, I'll start with you. Who's winning the Battle Royal?
Well, everyone wants it to be LA Knight, but WWE booking has proven that he has no chance of winning. So I'm gonna go with. I don't know why. I'm gonna go with Nakamura.
Okay. I wouldn't hate it. I'll be honest. Mike.
I believe the obvious answer here is L.A. Knight, but I'm going to go with an unannounced talent.
Edge.
Gray Sun Wall hair.
Okay. So do we still get a Grayson Waller effect?
Yes, because later in the night he's going to come out and rag everybody that he won this Battle Royal, and that's whenever you hear, "You think you know me?"
So
That's when
wait,
Edge comes out, spears the shit out of him, and then we get a Grayson Waller versus Edge match out of it.
real question here. Real question. Percentage chance that the Battle Royal ends up being on the pre-show.
0.0 because we don't do
They don't
matches
do
on the pre-show anymore.
matches anymore.
No, they had a pre-show in fucking 2 years, right?
No, they have pre-shows. They don't do pre-show matches.
Correct.
Right, matches. That's what I meant.
All right, Driving Miss Daisy. Who's your pick for the Battle Royal?
I think it's going to be someone that's unannounced right now, but based on the 6 currently announced, I'm going Ciampa.
Okay.
Great job, Talladega Nights.
If it's somebody unannounced, who do you think it is? If that's your like seemingly it's your actual prediction.
Good question. Shit.
Eastbound down, rolling up and trucking.
Can we see someone like Bray Wyatt come back or something? I don't know.
Oh God,
Not here.
dude! If they bring Bray Wyatt back to win the Slim Jim Battle Royal, just fucking old Yeller.
Step into it.
Just fucking old Yeller him if that's what you're gonna.
Uncle Howdy wins the fucking Battle Royal and then throws Mountain Dew pitch black at everybody.
Oh my God.
Oh, that's a good idea.
I literally just got a chest pain and heartburn hearing the words Slim Jim and Mountain Dew pitch black in the same sentence.
What if the match is won by AI Macho Man? I mean, Randy Savage has to be involved somehow.
I'll go for it.
Involved.
Shocker, you'll go for Macho Man. I'm so surprised.
Why don't we bring out the ghost of Paul Orndorff? That sounds like a good idea.
Hey, I got an idea.
Yeah, I got
Tremendous idea you talking about.
I got an idea.
Hulk Hogan wins this fucking Battle Royal.
Let's go, brother.
Let's go.
He's 6-0, make it 7-0, brother. You can't throw him over the top. His hip won't.
But based on the guys that were announced, though, I mean, Ciampa could use this one guy could use this spot here, right?
I mean, I think all of them not named Otis could use a win here in this.
I mean, Otis could also probably use a win here.
But we kind of know what we're getting from Oates.
We
We know what
do.
we're getting from old Oates.
It ain't gonna hurt him.
He's
No,
no,
but
entertainment.
But I think Gable getting the win because he's the head alpha of the Alpha Academy makes sense for the gimmick. I'm not saying anything about old. Thank you. I'm not saying anything about old Oates. I'm just saying I think because he's the headmaster, I think that would make sense. Could this be a spot where there's a potential call up from the NXT roster?
Carmelo Hayes.
No, you're not putting
You're not
Melo with the title belt.
fucking Battle Royal.
But Braun Breaker winning this Battle Royal. It's in Michigan. Daddy.
Oh.
They're Detroit boys.
You're staying. I think you're
The family.
It's a stretch, though. Yeah, it's a stretch. But I like it.
The family wore the fucking Michigan jackets.
You're staying as far away from Daddy Rick right now as
You're staying away from Daddy Rick, but Braun Breaker in his home. It's not.
I'm gonna say no.
It's
say no.
It's not good, but it's not in play.
I'll agree that it's not in play, but I'm gonna say there's less than a 1% chance of that happening.
I think he has a better shot of winning.
So
this battle
0.0, Jim. 0.0.
That's not what I said, loudmouth.
Stupid. I think he has a better shot of winning this battle royal than Hulk Hogan does.
That I'll agree with.
All right,
I'll
cool.
agree with.
Awesome. Good.
Well, I thank you guys for skirting around it because I'm going to say this one is the obvious choice.
Yeah.
And I'm going to take that one straight off the board. All right.
I hope it is. I hope he wins it because I think he needs that.
Me too.
moment.
I think he does too. And it's a quote unquote meaningless thing, but he can also make it mean something. And also, like if it is the fact that it's sponsored by Slim Jim, you had Snap Into a Slim Jim, ooh yeah, back in the day. Snap Into a Slim Jim, yeah. I mean, come the fuck on. It's way too easy.
That was a smooth ooh yeah, Jim. That's a smooth ooh yeah.
I can't wait to watch Braun Breaker return from his injury to win this Braun Strowman to come back from his injury to win this fucking battle royal that no one's gonna give a fuck about.
There's another shitty battle royal.
Omos wins this.
Roman wins.
Omos wins this shit battle royal.
Woof.
Bobby Lashley.
All right. Next one. Ricochet.
I can see that actually.
Ricochet versus Logan Paul. Michael.
He's still a dick. Logan Paul.
All right. EJ.
Logan Paul.
All right. Joseph.
Um,
The hell are you eating?
it's a chicken wing.
What kind of sauce on
You
it?
got some, dog.
It's just like dry. It's from Outback. It's actually pretty good.
All right.
Um,
I've actually
Lemon
heard
onion are right.
the Outback wings are really good, which I've never had them, but I should try them. But Joe, Ricochet
Bring some Saturday, man.
versus Logan Paul.
Shut up, Ernest.
I can't.
Yeah, I think Ricochet gonna win.
Really?
You're really trying to get me to quit this show tonight. You're really going for it. You're really going for it, man.
Make him mad. Make him mad.
Yo,
I think
shut up.
Wait,
Cold
wait.
Trickle
I
from
think-
fucking Days of Thunder. Chill
Wait.
the fuck out over there.
No,
All right?
no, this is not for you. Go away. Wait, look at this. Look at this dog.
Yeah, it's a meat bone. Look what
So
the hell.
adorable.
Like, what else do you think is going to happen?
Look at his lips. He's looking
Somebody
at his
let
lips
Dick
like how
Trickle.
EJ looks at Jim. Look at
Don't be
this
a
lip.
dick. Give him some of that.
It's fucking meat on a bone, dude. Of course he's going crazy.
All right. Okay, hold on. If you say meat on a bone directed at the gay guy anymore, Ernest is going to get really excited.
You're
First
gonna
off-
get Ernest excited.
You're going to get Ernest
Look, he lit
really
himself
excited.
up.
It was
for
at
you.
the dog.
I
not-
didn't say
not
you
the
said
gay guy.
anything wrong, Jim. I'm saying let's not get Ernest excited. He's trying to drive.
I'm just
I don't
No, I'm
need him
home now.
to dick trickle into the wall.
No, I'm good. I'm home now.
So wait,
I'm just-
not only do I think that Ricochet is gonna win, I think motherfucker's gonna Tebow
Mhm.
after the match just to be like, "Fuck you, Mike." Middle of the
Yep.
ring, just gonna hit the Tebow.
God, I
Make
hope
Mike
he does.
mad. Wear your
I hope
shirt.
he-
Wear your shirt too, Mike. We're at it.
I hope he does Tebow because I'm gonna fucking take a picture of it and I'm just gonna tweet him and be like, "Hey, Dick, about time you did something fucking useful."
All right. Logan Paul wins this one fairly easily at that.
Yeah.
All right. Singles match, Intercontinental title. Gunther defending against Drew McIntyre. EJ.
Big goons still. Great match tonight though.
Not match of the night. Michael.
Da ring, yeah, Gunther.
I love how every time Joe comes back on camera,
He's
he's
eating something different.
just a different thing of food in his hand. Like, this is my favorite
He has
gimmick.
Doritos. He's not even fat.
Like, this is my fucking
No,
favorite
he's
gimmick.
really high. You would have
Yeah.
known that if you watched the first, 12 minutes of this show where
He's always high. Like Joe's a walking fucking plant.
buddy. He was just creating an entire cloud stream on his
Skid Row.
fucking-
Turn it down from 11, okay? Jesus Christ.
Sorry, it's the headset. I apologize.
You're so fucking loud. Joe.
I love you,
Gunther, Drew McIntyre.
Please don't Dale Earnhardt.
So
You still have that, Jim? That's not bad.
Yeah, it's on our.
I
it's on my
actually think this is the hardest to predict match because Everything in my loins says that Drew wins, except for the fact that Gunther is this close to breaking the record and being the longest champion of all time.
Does your
So I
boyfriend just know that you almost just
genuinely don't know.
wagered your loins?
Yes.
He okay with this?
I mean, I'm not okay with it.
I'm going to say I think Drew wins. Final answer.
All right.
I think Drew will be good at some point. Just not right now.
Yeah, I think we're way too close to that record, man. WWE
Yeah.
loves printing new record books.
It was the reason why on Ernest's post plugging the fact that he had Duke on talking about how Honky Tonk Man is the greatest Intercontinental Champion. I corrected the mistake. Asterisk was, because when this is over, it'll be Big Gunther as the greatest Intercontinental Champion of all time, because the matches that he's had with that title belt beat anything that the fucking Honky Tonk Man did. So
I also think the Miz would like a word in that greatest
Yeah,
Intercontinental.
thank you. That's
I'm
the
not
one.
disagreeing with the Miz, but I'm saying was as in singular reign. I think Gunther's reign, not just from a durational standpoint, but from a match quality standpoint, is superior to anything.
It's definitely a
that the
fluid
Honky Tonk Man ever
conversation,
did.
though. To your point, it's definitely a fluid conversation, though.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, I've good there. All right. Next one, we got the women's championship triple threat. Asuka defending against Charlotte and Bianca. Michael.
Is this where I say I think Io Sky cashes in and doesn't successfully to cash in?
Oh,
Is that the moment that I do this, or is that a different moment?
If that's what you want to say.
I was waiting
No,
the
I
casting
don't-
part, but not
No,
the.
I don't think she cashes in. I think that there is a potential for a bigger cash in at some point in this show. Therefore, I don't think there is a women's cash in. Plus, with the injury to Bailey, I think we need to figure out what's going to happen with that storyline. Because I think that's the bigger story there. That being said, I don't think it's going to be Bianca here. I don't think they're going to race to put the title right back on her. I think she actually takes the fall here.
Mm-mm.
I don't want to say this, but I think I have to. It's Charlotte Flair. Asuka really hasn't done much with the title since winning it. Like, it was cool. Somebody finally beat Bianca. I'm really excited that it's over and it's gone. They haven't done anything with it. Charlotte, fuck.
Yeah. EJ?
No, I don't disagree. I have Charlotte too. However, I have Io casting on Charlotte.
Okay. I mean, I wouldn't hate that if Charlotte wins.
I would almost rather Io cash and make it a fatal 4-way and just pin Bianca then. This would be like the third time Charlotte's been cashed in on.
Really?
That's true too.
Well, I can guarantee you one, because that's whenever the Iconics debuted and beat the crap out of her, and then someone cashed in on her.
Okay.
I know for sure one. That's for sure one. There may have been another
Mhm.
one. I'm not 1,000% sure. I could be wrong, but that's why I mean, I'm just saying. I think for sure one, maybe a second, and if Io cashes in, that'd be a third potentially. I think that's just a lot on one individual. If it's a second cash in, I could see it in play. I'm not going to say that it's not in play, because who knows? Everything's always in play.
Mhm.
Joseph.
He's going to somehow pick his boyfriend to win this match. The ghost of Luna Vachon.
No.
What?
What match are we talking about?
The women's match. The match that you could give less than one fuck about.
Oh.
Charlotte, Bianca, and Asuka.
No, let's shock the world. I think Bianca wins.
I swear to God, if she
I
wins,
don't
I'm
like
gonna
it.
fucking
I want her to win, but I don't
jump
like it.
off a bridge.
Doesn't help her.
Wait, how
terms
do you
of-
want
Honestly, right
to
now.
win, but not if she wins? You're what's wrong with wrestling fans.
Huh?
Who?
We didn't hear half of what you said, Joe.
Ernest said, "I want her to win, but I don't like it."
I don't think it helps her. I mean, I love Bianca Belair. She's my favorite, but I don't think it
But
helps
that
her right now.
doesn't make sense. You want her to win, but you don't want her to win.
Well, as a fan of hers, and not obviously it's a scripted thing, but I love her.
This is
But
what's wrong
I
with
don't think it helps
wrestling
her
fans.
overall.
He can't just
Joe,
cheer for the wrestler that he likes.
Joe, what did you change about your mic? Because you sound like you're talking.
Yeah, you sound muddled. That was me.
My phone's on the charger.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
In terms of women's Money in the Bank
Should I
briefcase,
cheer for? Okay.
stop talking over me, dickhead.
I was asking a question. Should I cheer for? Should I,
In terms of
that's
Money in
me.
the Bank,
Don't do that.
in terms of Money in the, well, stop talking over me then. In terms of Money in the Bank briefcase,
But I was adding to Joe.
I swear to everything fucking holy, I will drive to Florida and kick you in the fucking face if you fucking keep talking over me. Jesus Christ. I will boot you out of this goddamn show.
Can I ask Joe a question though before you continue though?
Can I finish my fucking goddamn point?
Okay, go ahead.
I swear to God. 5 women's Money in the Bank briefcases prior to this year. Charlotte Flair has been cashed in on 3 times.
Yeah, I'm out.
The other 2 people were Nia Jax and Ronda Rousey. Now, EJ, for the love of God, ask your goddamn question.
So you sent me to my room though. I'm joking. I'm not. Look at Mike's thing. Come on, relax. No, Joe. Should I cheer as a fan of hers, or should I cheer for the story overall?
Jim, I'll do it right now.
What?
Because you said that, like I'm the worst kind of fan. So should I cheer for Bianca Belair, the wrestler, or cheer for what's the better story, the better script?
You should cheer for who you're a fan of.
That's what I'm saying, though. But I feel like Bianca winning this match in this situation doesn't really help her right now.
That's like you, but that sounds like you being like, "Yo, who do you want to win the game tonight? The Heat or the Knicks?"
No,
No, what I'm saying- What I'm saying is that he wins. She wins his match. She wins his match. People are going to shit all over it.
No,
I mean, you don't want that.
You can't compare real life sports to wrestling, because in real life sports, there's no storyline that next week, what are the Jets going to do when their quarterback's hurt? There is no like phantom injury or anything like that. At the end of the day,
Sure, that's going to be a storyline in like week 3 in the NFL, and you know it.
not for the Jets, it won't. But I digress.
You're a Jets fan, so yeah.
Talking about the scriptedness that is professional wrestling. Wrestling fans will be annoyed at the fact that she won the championship again. Kind of like how fans are annoyed that Patrick LaVon Mahomes II keeps getting talked as the greatest quarterback of all time because he keeps getting to the Super Bowl. But we can't book that any differently because they have to actually go out and play the games.
Yeah. I think Charlotte wins. I don't think there's a cash in. If there is a cash in, I could see it more cash in during the match, make it a fatal 4-way. Bianca eats the fall. I think Bianca eats the fall in this match for Charlotte to win, because I think this is where we start to see Bianca get frustrated. I think this is where we start to see that Bianca heel turn. And there's this like little faction that's brewing on SmackDown with Bobby Lashley and Angelo Dawkins. And who's that other guy? Oh yeah, Montez Ford. Yeah, I think he's a pretty big fan of Bianca Belair, so she could fall into that faction very easily. And yeah, I think that the transition of the Bianca Belair character is going to fall into that group, I believe.
Yeah, I'm okay with her eating the fall actually for once.
Yeah, and I think she has to for that to happen. All right.
I agree with you, Jim.
Good. Next match, we have Cody Rhodes taking on Brock Lesnar. Michael.
Adrenaline in my soul. Please, dear God, let this shit end.
You don't like it? You just tired of it now?
I'm good. Like this is the rinse and repeat Brock Lesnar for the last like 2 years. Like I'm good. Like he comes in, loses a match, goes away for a couple weeks, comes back, jumps the guy that beats him, wants his rematch, wins the rematch, goes away again, and then the guy goes, I want final revenge on you for beating me after I beat you. It just makes sense because there was nothing else for Cody Rhodes to do. But I'm ready for the next step of Cody Rhodes, so that's why I'm kind of over this. It's not that the guys are having terrible matches. It's not that at all. It's just kind of been, this is what Brock Lesnar has become. Like, I'm just good on it because I want to see what the next step is for Cody Rhodes. I think Cody Rhodes needs to win. I don't think Brock Lesnar winning this feud will do anything for Brock Lesnar because guess what? Brock Lesnar is an attraction. That's what he is. That's what he's going to be moving forward. So Cody gets the win probably convincingly. If I have the pen, like this isn't he won via roll up and he escaped Brock Lesnar again. Like this is Crossroads, and another one, and then he definitively defeats Brock to move on.
All right, EJ.
No, I think Cody wins. I think Brock will beat the fuck out of him though, and I think Brock will look strong in the end. But I think Cody will give him like 3 or 4 crossroads and then wins the match, and then the feud ends at that point there. But it will be a tough match. I think Brock will look strong, but I think Cody will win the rubber match.
Who had over under on different amount of food that Joe would eat on this show at 13.5?
Where's he at now? Is that gummy?
I had
Fruit
over.
snacks.
It's Welch's.
You're so fat.
Jesus
I'm really not.
Christ.
EJ, stop yelling.
God, mate.
I'm not that loud though.
What, you just blew
You are
out my eardrum?
loud as
It's
shit.
the headset.
You just
It's
blew
the
out my
headset,
fucking
sorry.
eardrum.
We've told you 3 times to turn the main down a tad, Skid Row.
Sorry, Father Jim.
Chill out, breaking my eardrum, Benjamin.
Joe.
They're pretty good in that actually.
Cody versus Brock.
Yeah, Cody wins with 3 crossroads and an F5 and a people's elbow.
He's killing me.
And then he hits a leg drop.
I told you to give me the fucking thumbs down and I would have done it.
Killing me, man.
I fucking told you and you wouldn't give me the
I
goddamn
mean, he
thumbs
just
down.
keeps letting himself back in.
Fucking block him.
I muted myself. What are you talking about?
I muted
No.
you after you started hacking up a lung.
Hacking up a fucking lung. We heard it. Good
My bad.
Christ.
Jim, don't you just love this show? It's like having 3 intern marks and then me and you.
I need this show so much. I didn't even have intern Mark
You're
tonight.
welcome.
He was off. So then I
Oh,
come here to deal with the fucking in stereo.
I made up for it now. I made up for it. There you go.
I mean, we were really hoping that we wouldn't have to deal with you tonight, and then you fucking showed up. He was hoping for it. I could see it in his eyes. He was like, "Tell me a lie."
Cody wins. I mean, there's no scenario that Brock Lesnar should win this match.
Can I ask a
Brock will
question?
look strong. Brock will look strong, and then Cody will hit him with a couple of crossroads, and we're out of here.
Can I ask a question before we move on?
Sure.
What's he coming back eating? He's off the camera. What's he coming back with?
Oh, he's just got a
Goddamn
drink now.
Frosted Flakes.
No, it's his go-to. It's ice.
Well, he's chewing on ice. All right.
Damn it! I should have known it was coming.
I don't remember what match. Okay. Seth freaking Rollins defends the world heavyweight title against Finn Balor. Michael.
Finn wins. Damian cashes in, and they kick Finn out of the Judgment Day.
All right. EJ.
Finn wins, but Dan Freeze teases the cash in. Seth Rollins not leaving Detroit with that title.
Okay. Joseph.
Seth wins. Damian goes to cash in. Rhea hits him in the balls, takes the briefcase, cashes in, new world champion.
I would actually love that, by the way. I would take that and run with it. I would fucking love that.
Shut up and take my money.
Yeah, just all of that. All of that. Just
shut up and take my money.
all of that. Here's what I'll say. In terms of possibilities of a cash in, if Seth Rollins wins, I think we get a cash in and a Damian Priest victory.
I'm trying to listen to you, but I'm so distracted by Insidious Chapter 3 over here.
I literally almost said, Ernest, cough twice if you're in trouble. All I saw was his head doing this, going down the stairs in the fucking one light.
It's
I'm
coming
like, what the
from
fuck is
inside
going
the
on?
house. And it's
I'm
not
home,
your
buddy.
wife because she's never coming inside the house.
Well, not if Ernest is home.
Hey, fuck you, man. You're all going to hell.
No, we're not.
Oh, I have a first class seat. Spirit
if
Airlines.
If Seth wins,
Spirit
I
Airlines.
think there's a very realistic possibility of a successful cash in. If I have the book,
Yep.
if Finn Balor wins, we do not get a cash in because there is story to be told with the power struggle within the Judgment Day.
Absolutely.
Okay. So if Finn wins, then you have Finn's always looking over his shoulder like, is this motherfucker about to pop me and take my title? But also if Seth wins and we get a successful cash in, I don't think we get Balor kicked out of the Judgment Day right away. Because there's still story to be told there of, again, that power struggle of, well, Finn's kind of like this de facto leader, but now we have a world champion who's not the leader. So, like, Finn will eventually get kicked out, 100%. But I don't think it happens immediately because, yeah, I think there's story to be told either way. That said,
Well, we all agree though. Oh,
stop
I thought you were done. Sorry.
talking over me.
I thought you were done. I'm sorry. I thought you were done.
Yeah, well, you thought wrong.
It's also
Obviously.
something he has said to Lauren.
But all that said, I think Finn Balor wins and walks out of SummerSlam as the new champ.
You know what's interesting? I feel like in a weird way, and go with me here. I feel like the Judgment Day storyline is where the NWO storyline should have actually gone. Like, you had the original members come in, you had Hogan, Nash, and Hall. You had the original members. Let's take out the part where they turned on Edge. Let's ignore that part. Let's call Edge the giant of the group, where they turned on him like 18 times, right? But you had the original members, and everything was going Gucci, and Rhea's basically Sean Waltman. It's fine. They have the same haircut. And everything's going Gucci Poochie. And then all of a sudden, you start to have a power struggle. And think about it. If back in the day, if the NWO, instead of adding 18 new members, if instead it had just stayed with Hogan, Hall, and Nash, and Hall ended up being the world champion while Hogan was still there, you'd have had a hell of a fucking storyline to go with to actually kind of wrap up the NWO instead of it becoming what it became. I feel like that's where the Judgment Day is going, and I love that, to be honest.
I completely agree with you. Completely agree with you on that, Joe.
All right. You had me a little concerned.
Unfortunately, we got too fucking big, so.
Yeah. Well, that.
Well, yeah, because the NWO added, like, Horace Hogan and shit. Like, as long as we don't get fucking, like, Damian Priest's third cousin, fucking Joel Maximo or some shit, we'll be fine.
So what you're telling me is you didn't want Tomato Face Sting.
I'm good on Tomato Face Sting.
All right.
I don't think anybody needed that.
That's my takeaway from the NWO portion of this conversation.
All right. Thank God we got into the last match on this fucking card. It is the Tribal Combat match for the undisputed WWE Universal Championship and recognition of Tribal Chief Roman Reigns with Paul Heyman and Solo Sikoa defending against Jey Uso. Mike.
I love that you have to start with me because you know I'm the one that's about to flip this bitch upside down.
Oh, here we fucking go.
Oh, here we go. We haven't done one of these in a while. Hold on, let me shift my weight. Roman Reigns wins.
A lot of weight.
I just trolled all of y'all because you guys really thought I was going to do this. You really thought I was going to do this.
Acknowledge me.
You really thought I was going to do this. There's no way. There's no way he's losing right now.
All right, EJ.
What I will say is if there is someone that was going to win the title, I have no problem with it being Jey Uso. But unfortunately, we're in a spot where he is as close as he is to passing the people that he is. It does not make sense till WrestleMania. I think Jey Uso would make a ton of sense. I don't think he'd be champion long. I could see Jey Uso winning it and then Damian Priest cashing in on him because he survived Roman Reigns.
Sure.
And then Roman and Solo go, you know what? You decided to go against the family. We're not going to save you from the Judgment Day trying to cash in on you. And nobody from the family walks out with the title. Like, if there's a way that Damian Priest wins that title, it's not pinning Roman Reigns.
Right. Hey, background noise. Who's winning this?
Well, Roman's winning the match. There's no doubt about that. But I think Jimmy turns on Jey.
Huh? You're going to break up the longest reigning tag team in WWE history? Huh?
It's a soap opera, baby. As the world turns.
But what has Solo and Roman done for Jimmy Uso?
Yeah, but see,
I don't know.
no, Melonhead, shut up. The thing is, that doesn't make any sense. Like, I'm with you. I want the next twist, which is why I think there's a real chance that we live in a world where Damian Priest is winning that title at the end of the night. And I think you might be right. He might have to beat Jey to do it. It might have to be that situation. But I think that's the world. Like you just laid it out for me. You just laid it out for me exactly how I'd love to see it. I would love to see it where Jey barely beats Roman. He barely survives. He barely scrapes through. And then here comes the Judgment Day. And the only two people, you got Solo and you got Roman, and they're standing there, and they could make this stop. They turn their backs and they walk away. They walk up that aisle. They're just like, fuck it. Like, we're not with you. You're not with us. That's the end of that. And they walk away, and Damian Priest gets that win. And now the Judgment Day are at the top of the food chain. I don't know how you get from there to the eventual place where I think the bloodline is back together, but I think that you can get there. I think it needs to go through these beats to get there.
I think you have a better shot.
That's a massive twist, though.
I think you have a better shot of them getting back together if Jey beats Roman and then Jey loses the title. Because inevitably there's going to be the whole crowning of the new tribal chief if he wins, because he's still going to get that. He doesn't lose that by losing to Damian Priest.
Right.
So is that when the elders look at Roman and go, remember how they had to acknowledge you? Now it's time for you to fall in line and acknowledge them. And is this how we get the reformation of the bloodline? Because then is that Jimmy and Jey looking at Roman and going, all we ever wanted to do was be equals? And you kicked us to the curb and you always looked down on us because we were a tag team, but we were the ones that showed up week in and week out, protecting you and saving you, being there for you through every title defense, things like that. Like, that makes sense. That's a way to get them as faces and to get Roman to buy back in. But it means that Roman Reigns loses to Jey Uso and doesn't walk out of SummerSlam with the title. Is that a world that we are ready to live in? Because I don't know. Coming out of WrestleMania, we were like, hey, when could he lose the title? Next year's WrestleMania. Because he ain't losing it on another different random PLE. All of us on this show walking out of SoFi made that comment. The only time that would make sense would be of WrestleMania next year. That's a terrible fucking name, Joe. Terrible. By the way,
Oh my god.
I noticed
God.
it. I noticed
Joe,
it. And I was
what's
like, "That's so
Joe?
bad."
What's?
So
Oh my god.
on paper, Joe's theory, not Austin, because Jesus, I don't need him to drool anymore today. It makes sense if you went with Jay winning the title and losing it immediately. But is the next chapter worth the backlash and the criticism that you're going to get for the end of the Roman Reigns run? Personally, I think you have a lot more legs to this storyline. Honestly, I think the Judgment Day teasing to cash in on Roman and the Usos saving them, and it's like hey, he's our brother. We can kick his ass, but you can't. This is a family thing. Like, we'll deal with you. And I think that's how you get Roman now looking at them and going, why did you guys save me?
Right.
And it's, we saved you because no matter what, we may not agree with what you're doing, but you're still family. We're going to be the ones that are going to
That
knock
makes more
sense
sense.
into you. And then
That
that's
makes
how
more
you get
sense, actually.
face that's how you get face bloodline. And now it's, you came after the family. Now we have to get ours back. Now we got to come after you. Now we got to shoot fucking fire back at you.
If that's where they go, if that's War Games, if that's how we get there, that could be fucking fire and a half.
Mm-hmm.
That could literally be fire and a half.
And the thing is, if we
are we ready for it?
Survivor Series is War Games, but here's the thing: if we get to War Games and stay with me here, World Galactic Starship Champion of the World Roman Reigns, World Heavyweight Champion Finn Balor, Money in the Bank briefcase holder Damian Priest. Finn loses War Games. Damian kicks him out that night and walks out of Survivor Series with the World Heavyweight title and as the new leader of the Judgment Day.
Yeah, I see it. That's such a... I love all of that. It's all so clear. It's all such a clear path
that they could take and make it happen. And I would love all of that. Because you're right. This SummerSlam could easily end with Roman still champion, beating Jay, but being so beaten down and everything that you get the Judgment Day coming out, and they're right, it doesn't happen. Doesn't happen because here comes Jimmy, here comes Solo. Jay gets up and he joins in too, and they're all protecting Roman. That is it. Like, that's an image right there. The cash-in doesn't happen, and then you got questions. Why did they just do that? Why we just had the Civil War? Where are they back together? I mean, come on, you saw Captain America Civil War. The Captain America and Iron Man get back together eventually.
The Avengers reassemble at some point.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Because there's a purple monster
analogy.
named Thanos, and guess what? The Judgment Day's color is purple. So guess what? The fucking Avengers are getting back together, bitches.
Yep.
Let me ask you this real quick:
WWE
Are we ready? Are we ready for a babyface bloodline now? Are we ready for that?
Yes.
I mean, I think here's the thing. You call them baby faces. I think they're just certified ass kickers.
Okay, faces, right.
I just think that they're them. I think Roman still walks around. He gets more cheers now with people saying acknowledge me than he did whenever Sierra Hotel India Echo Lima Delta fucking played over the fucking radio. I mean, at the end of the day, your bigger reactions for acknowledge me. This is a face run without it being a face run. And here's the thing. Go back and watch his interview on First Take. Paul Heyman makes the comment that Paul Heyman is the greatest of all time. And in that interview, Roman Reigns makes the comment, quote, I'm more of a silent guy. I don't like to talk about that stuff. Okay, but he talks about it every time that he's on TV. So if we're going to get real life Roman, maybe we're going to get to the point to where he's like, you know what? This stuff is cool and whatever. He's like, but I got to lead my family. Like, my family is the priority. This title is nice. This company is nice. This is nice. But the family is the number one priority. And now you've fucked with my family. I just think that they become certified fucking ass kickers. Here's the thing. When the Avengers got back together, nobody liked the Avengers because they were fucking rogue agents that were destroying shit. But guess what? When something went wrong, who'd you call? Captain America. So you do the same thing. People aren't going to like the Bloodline because people don't like Paul Heyman because his promos are abrasive. And Roman Reigns is a champion who's been champion for a bajillion days. But he really hasn't done much scum to retain his titles. Yes, the Usos have helped. Yes, Solo's helped. But what has Roman done? Roman hasn't cheated. Roman hasn't used a chair. Roman hasn't used the title belt. The family is looking out for the family. Roman Reigns is just trying to make sure he walks out with the world title.
Fair point.
Roman
Jim,
Reigns.
you go right?
Roman Reigns.
Any
Okay.
chaos?
You have
No.
anything else? You have anything else to add to that, Jim?
No.
Okay.
No. Roman Reigns. No chaos. No cash-ins. No teases.
I mean, I said Roman Reigns. I was just the one that after they went that route, I just went with the. Because I don't think that there's a cash in either. I feel like I've already predicted that I think the cash in happens earlier in the night against Finn Balor, basically. So, or that Damian Priest walks out with the world title, like whether it's beating Seth, whether it's beating Finn. I don't think it's happening here. I think the closing is going to be a beaten and battered Roman Reigns and a beaten and battered Jey Uso staring at each other in the middle of the ring, and there being a hand extended and there being a fucking handshake like Captain America and Iron Man coming back together to put the fucking Avengers together again. I think that makes sense as a closing moment.
Nah, I think Roman's just standing victorious over Jey. Jay's going to look strong in this match. Jay's going to get some fantastic near falls. But here's the thing, because eventually the family will be back together.
I'm just saying I wouldn't be opposed to Roman Reigns picking him up, standing him up, looking him in the eyes, and your closing moment is the two of them hand in hand. Like it's one of those where Roman acknowledges that Jey Uso is main event Jey Uso. This is more of Roman's acknowledgement of I was wrong for looking down on you and thinking you guys weren't good enough to be the tag champs. I put too much pressure on you. You've proven yourself to me. That's the way that I would. That's the way I would see them having that moment at the end.
Those things may happen, not on Sunday. No, not on Saturday for me.
That I'm just saying. I would be okay with him standing victorious. I would be okay with them having the moment that I just depicted. I'm just saying I don't think the cash-in part is happening.
Yeah, no, the SummerSlam is ending the way that every Roman pay-per-view has pretty much premium live event has ended during this run, and it is him standing on a stage with the title and fireworks going off, victorious. Yeah, it's you don't remake the Whopper, you don't remake the Big Mac.
Whopper.
It's real simple.
Whopper.
It's real simple.
One last question, and this is for the overall show. Any surprises, comebacks? Any surprises?
Yes, I think we get a Randy Orton.
I think so too.
Coming out to confront Gunther.
Really?
Gunther, interesting.
Honestly, the more that I think about it, I don't have a problem with Randy, but it's not Gunther, because I think Gunther eventually loses to Drew. Randy's the one that comes out and confronts Grayson Waller during the Waller experience.
Okay.
Maybe.
Just because it just makes so much sense for it to be Edge. But Randy would make a lot of sense because if Randy's only got a little bit of time left, Randy's probably going to want to work with a couple of these younger guys to help him get a little bit of rub before he leaves.
That makes sense.
And Waller's one of those guys that it's like I think would learn a lot from working with Randy, even if it's just a short period of time. Other than that, I don't think we get anything earth-shattering or monumental. Just because talking about this, like, this is a show where it's like you have people that are not on this show that you could potentially make an argument for. Trish and Becky, Jimmy Uso, Sammy and KO. Obviously, KO's hurt. That's the reason why they're not. So this is one of those things where it's like, if they were healthy and the Battle Royal wasn't on there, then we'd have this conversation about the Grayson Waller experience is going to be him and LA Knight having a promo off, probably, to get LA Knight on the show. Because you're not going to not have LA Knight on this show, but you wouldn't have anywhere else to put him.
Right.
So it's just it's one of those where that's why I don't think there's anybody else monumental or earth shattering with the exception of possibly Randy.
What about you, Joe? Any surprises, you think?
What?
He stopped
What?
listening like 7 minutes ago. I'm surprised he's actually awake. He wouldn't be if he wasn't sitting on the counter.
Very impressed. Very impressed.
Any surprise returns since he won't ask the question again?
Macho Man Randy Savage.
Attaboy. Jim, anyone?
AI, baby.
I said
What
Randy.
about Bray Wyatt?
0.0.
Okay.
Wrestlers of the week.
All right.
Since I see that Jim hit that scroll, he's like, fuck this shit. I'm going to move this thing along.
I've been in this chair for 5
on
hours.
vacation.
I'm just saying. We're going to go home spot. We're getting the fuck out of here.
All right, I'm going first because fuck you guys. Carmelo Hayes. He is him. Jim?
Give me the family. Tony Mozzarella and Jax Gabagool.
The Gabagool Family Crime Syndicate.
Damn right, man. New tag champs.
Tony and Stacks. Joe, because you actually showed up for the show on time.
Finally getting her moment in front of an actual crowd and not just 5 people who sometimes appear on Dark. Give me Hiroku. What the fuck's her name?
Hikaru Shida.
That one. Hiroku Shida.
Jesus Christ.
Your favorite
New
Pokemon and mine.
Somehow it gets worse. I don't know how.
Every week.
It just got worse. I don't get it. How is this possible? Ernest, make a fucking pick.
Give me a big goon.
What did he do?
Do we have to
Be
drag?
Chad Gable. On
Fine.
Raw. You watch Raw this week?
Mike, just go. Just please. Let's not make this any longer than it has to be. That's also something Lauren has said.
Give me Hulk Hogan.
Dominic Mysterio, because I'm just trying to not say things that I want to say right now.
Thank you. Tiffany Stratton retained her NXT women's title.
That fucking finish was awful.
Wasn't great.
It was not. Joseph.
Give me FTR for retaining their titles over Adam Cole and MJF. I mean, one of them pinned the world champion. That's a big deal. One of the world champions. There's like 5 titles. I don't know what's happening anymore.
There's also a DMX title now. That's cool. Ernest.
A what title?
Shut up and make your pick, idiot.
Fuck you.
Clock.
Let me see.
Pick somebody from WWE that you can put in your top 15.
I don't look at now. Fuck it. Give me Seth and Sami Zayn.
Let's end the show, please, for the love of Christ.
Good tag, man. They were tag team this week.
Send your hate tweets to @EJChristian7. You can follow
Thank
us
you,
at
do that.
Tier 3 Wrestling. You can follow me at They Call Me Burn. Hit the link tree on Jim's at Big Jim Sports for all of his stuff, including 3CT, Huddle Up, and all that stuff. Jim, you want to say anything else before we go?
No, I'm glad the show's over.
Fuck. Bye. See you next week, guys. See you. Bye.
See ya.